Hello and welcome to Just Pauses. The other day I read somewhere words are a heavy thing, they weigh you down. If birds could talk, they couldn't fly. Words matter a lot. But which ones do we use and when, and how many do we use? Even that matters. Once upon a time, Emperor Akbar had a very weird dream. He got up with a start and felt a little scared. He had dreamt that he had lost all his teeth except one. He felt very restless the whole night and shuddered at the prospect of living with just one tooth. In the morning, he sent for his astrologer and asked him to interpret the dream. The astrologer thought pensively for a while and then, in a very solemn tone, he said, "My lord, the meaning of seeing the loss of all teeth except one is that whoever sees this dream, all his relatives would die one by one in front of his eyes." Emperor Akbar was furious at this interpretation and he ordered the astrologer to leave the palace at once and never to enter its gates again. The emperor remained upset for several days thereafter until Birbal, his favorite, who was away during those days, returned. Birbal saw that the emperor was quite disturbed and he asked him the reason for his sadness. The emperor narrated the dream to him and also told him how the astrologer had interpreted the dream. Birbal thought for a while and then smiled. He said, "My lord, you do not need to worry one bit. It is a fantastic dream and I know what it means. It means that you shall have a longer and a more fulfilling life than any of your relatives." "Aha!" exclaimed Emperor Akbar happily and rewarded Birbal handsomely. Yes, words have a lot of power in them and a lot of magic too. They can hurt, they can heal, they can soothe, they can scar, they can lead to a tear, and they can make a smile follow. There are two tragedies with words though. One, that not many of us know when to use them and which ones to use. Poor words. People thoughtlessly blame them as hurtful and painful, though the mouths that fling them are thoughtless. And second, not many of us know how many words to use at a given time. Poor words. Just because they are free, people take liberties to grab a fistful of them and just hurl. And the second tragedy occurs because people do not know that hidden inside each one of us is a word weighing machine. Our instincts. Our instincts can weigh our words and tell them if we are using too many or too few. But to activate this machine, we need to take a pause now and then and reflect. Just imagine if every family decides that everyone shall say one good line to every other member daily. The atmosphere at home could be just beautiful. Why crush and disappoint people or make them feel worthless by using harsh words when we can make them feel the exact reverse? One simple story I read one time was about a young man who was a little more well read than others in his village. He was always eager to prove his wisdom. Once there were plans being discussed towards modernizing the village, and at the meeting, this young man got up and addressed the chief of the village. He had prepared some very clever arguments to challenge the chief's proposals. He began, "Honorable sir, I have heard your words and I have considered your plans carefully, and I find—" The village chief raised a hand and stopped him. "Before you continue," he said gently, "learn to weigh your words. Not all that which is clever is wise, and not all that which is true needs to be spoken." And he told the young man a story. There was a farmer who had a beautiful, vibrant garden. One day, a traveler passed by and admired the flowers. And then he immediately pointed out a single withered bloom and said, "That flower is dying. Look how ugly it is." The farmer became sad and pulled the flower out and threw it away. Soon another traveler commented on a wilting leaf, and then another on a pest ridden stem, and the farmer, listening to each observation, began to prune and pluck until his once lush garden was bare and lifeless. He had listened to every word, and in doing so, he had destroyed the beauty he had sought to preserve. The chief of the village continued, "Words have power, young one. They can build or destroy. Before you speak, consider if your words will add beauty and value to the world, or if they will simply point out the flaws and imperfections. Not every imperfection needs to be highlighted. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to cultivate what is good and beautiful, even if it means overlooking the flaws." The young man understood that true wisdom isn't just about clever arguments, but about carefully considering the impact of one's words and choosing to nurture just the good ones. Thank you.